These are my favourite new release horror movies that you can pick up from JB Hi-Fi for the month of July. When it comes to the horror new releases for July, JB Hi-Fi went crazy, so there's actually a lot of horror movies to get through here, so I'm going to try and keep my comments on each short and sharp, but I'm going to quickly start by talking about the horror movies that I didn't pick up for one reason or another. The most obvious movie that I skipped out on for this month was the release of Sinners. Sinners is one of, and probably will stay, one of the best horror movies from this year, but it is one that I did get a chance to see in cinemas, when in general for my 2025 horror movie watches I'm actually tracking behind. So even though I really liked this movie and I will eventually pick it up, there's just other ones that I haven't got around to watching that I wanted to put my money towards over Sinners. We got a release for a movie called The Woman in the Yard, which is one I was never really interested in the first place, but I also heard that this movie's not very good, so I skipped out on this one. The movie Fear Below is another one I decided not to pick up. This is one that I've heard absolutely zero about, no positives, no negatives, which isn't always a bad thing. I could go in blind and be pleasantly surprised, but I think I'm going to wait for a little bit of feedback before I decide to pull the trigger on this one. And the last one that I didn't pick up is a horror thriller called Drop. The only reason that I didn't pick this one up, I had full intentions on picking it up, is I just couldn't find a copy, and it's as simple as that. Now getting into the new releases that I actually did pick up, and as usual starting with the movie that I think is the coolest of the new releases, here I have a movie called The Monkey. Now this is one that was very anticipated for myself coming into this year. The idea for this film just sounded really cool on paper, directed by Osgood Perkins, which over the past handful of years he's shown himself to be a really cool and interesting filmmaker, based on a story by Stephen King. I just feel like this is a recipe for success, and everything that I've heard about this movie, it sounds like a lot of fun. It's got some Final Destination vibes mixed with this curse thing going on. It just sounds really cool for me, so this one, The Monkey, is my favourite pickup for the month of July. Next new release that I picked up is a film called Death of a Unicorn. Now I've actually heard a lot of people say that they were let down by this movie, but ever since I heard the plot for this one and checked out the trailers, this one really has piqued my interest regardless of what people have said after checking it out. You guys know that I'm massive on creature features. I'm also massive on cryptid horror movies in particular, and the more obscure the cryptid the better, and we don't have many horror movies where the cryptid is a unicorn, so this one, like I said, has really piqued my interest. Then you add on top of that the team behind it, the cast in this movie, and like I said, it won me over from the trailers alone, so very excited to check out Death of a Unicorn. And finally, the movie adaptation of Until Dawn. Even though I was a big fan of the game and a lot of people have been telling me that it's not too faithful to the game at all, I've heard that it sort of takes this Groundhog Day approach, and honestly, with the storylines going on in the game and it's sort of a choose your own adventure, I honestly don't mind it being this whole Groundhog Day and, you know, different monsters at different times and everything like that. Yes, it still could fall flat on its face. I haven't checked it out yet, but this is one that piqued my interest and I'm happy that I had a chance to pick it up.